She turned to Necbet. Now, your scavenging highness, is there a way to stop Setna? Necbet curled her talon fingernails. Possibly. He's not a full god yet, but without my crown, my own powers are greatly diminished. What about the Book of Thoth? Sadie asked. It may be no further use to Setna, but it did help us defeat Apophis. At the mention of that name, Necbet's face blanched. 3 feathers fell from her dress. Please don't remind me of that battle. But you're correct. The Book of Thoth contains a spell for imprisoning gods. It would take a great deal of concentration and preparation. Carter coughed. I'm guessing Setna won't stand around quietly while we get ready. No, Necbet agreed. At least 3 of you would be required to set a proper trap. A circle must be drawn, a rope must be enchanted, the earth must be consecrated. Other parts of the spell would have to be improvised. I hate Ptolemaic magic. Mixing Greek and Egyptian powers in abomination. However, it works, Annabeth said. Carter was able to go invisible using my hat. Sadie's explosion scroll at least dazed Setna. But we'll need more, Sadie said. Yes. The vulture goddess fixed her eyes on me like I was a tasty dead possum on the side of the highway. One of you will have to fight Setna and keep him unbalanced while the others prepare the trap. We need a very potent hybrid attack, an abomination even Ptolemy would approve of. Why are you looking at me? I asked. I'm not abominable. You are a son of Poseidon, the goddess noted. That would be a most unexpected combination. Combination? What? Oh, no, no, no. Sadie raised her hands. She looked horrified, and anything that would scare that girl, I didn't want to know about. Necbet, you can't be serious. You want a demigod to host you? He's not even a magician. He doesn't have the blood of the pharaohs. Carter grimaced. That's her point, Sadie. Percy isn't the usual kind of host. If the pairing worked, he could be very powerful. Or it can melt his brain, Sadie said. Hold it, Annabeth said. I prefer my boyfriend with an unmelted brain. What exactly are we talking about here? Carter wagged the Yankees cap at me. Necbet wants Percy to be her host. That's the only way Egyptian gods maintain a presence in the mortal world. They can inhabit immortal bodies. My stomach didn't feel too good. You want her? I pointed at the frazzled old vulture goddess. To inhabit me? That sounds... I tried to think of a word that would convey my complete disgust without offending the goddess. I failed. Necbet, Annabeth stepped forward. Join with me instead. I'm a child of Athena. I might be better. Ridiculous, the goddess sneered. Your mind is too willy, girl. Too stubborn and intelligent. I couldn't steer you as easily. Steer me? I protested. Hey lady, I'm not a Toyota. My host needs a certain level of simplicity, the goddess continued. Percy Jackson is perfect. He is powerful, yet his mind is not overly crowded with plans and ideas. Wow, I said. I'm really feeling the love here. Necbet rounded on me. There is no time to argue. Without a physical anchor, I cannot remain in the mortal world much longer. If you want to stop Setna from becoming immortal, you need the power of a god. We must act now. Together, we will triumph. We will feast upon that upstart magician's carcass. I swallowed. I'm actually trying to cut back on the carcass feasting. Carter gave me a sympathetic look that only made me feel worse. Unfortunately, Necbet is right. Percy, you're our best shot. Sadie and I couldn't host Necbet if she wanted us to. We already have patron gods. Who conveniently have gone silent, Sadie noted. Scared of getting their essence sucked up, I suppose. Neckbet fixed her glittery black eyes on me. Do you consent to hosting me, demigod? I could think of a million ways to say no. The word yes simply wouldn't pass my lips. I glanced at Annabeth for support, but she looked as alarmed as I felt. I don't know, Percy, she confessed. This is way beyond me. Suddenly the rainstorm fizzled out. In the eerie, muggy quiet, a red glow lit the middle of the island, as if somebody had started a bonfire on the soccer fields. That would be Setna, Neckbet said. He has begun his ascension to godhood. What is your answer, Percy Jackson? This will only work properly if you consent. I took a deep breath. I told myself that hosting a goddess couldn't be worse than all the other weird, horrible things I experienced in my demigod career. Besides, my friends needed my help, and I did not want that skinny Elvis impersonator to become a god and build a palace in my neighborhood. All right, I said, vulture me up. Neckbet dissolved into black smoke. She swirled around me, filling my nostrils with a smell like boiling tar. What was it like merging with a god? If you want the full details, read my Yelp review. I don't feel like going into it again. I gave the experience half a star. For now, let's just say that being possessed by a vulture goddess was even more disturbing than I had imagined. Thousands of years of memories flooded my mind. I saw pyramids rising from the desert, the sun glittering on the Nile River. I heard Prius chanting in the cool shadows of a temple. I soared over the cities of ancient Egypt, circling the palace of the pharaoh. I was the vulture goddess Neckbet, protector of the king, shield of the strong, scourge of the weak and dying. I also had a burning desire to find a nice warm hyena carcass, stick my face right in there and... Okay, basically I wasn't myself. I tried to stay focused on the present. I stared at my shoes, the same old pair of Brooks, yellow shoelace on the left, black shoelace on the right. I raised my sword arm to make sure I could still control my muscles. Relax, demigod, the voice of Neckbet spoke in my mind. Let me take charge. I don't think so, I said out loud. I was relieved that my voice still sounded like my voice. We do this together or not at all. Percy? Annabeth asked. Are you okay? Looking at her, she was disorienting. The Percy part of me saw my usual awesome girlfriend. The Neckbet part of me saw a young woman surrounded by a powerful ultraviolet aura, the mark of a Greek demigod. The sight filled me with disdain and fear. For the record, I have my own healthy fear of Annabeth. She has kicked my butt on more than one occasion, but disdain, not so much. That was all Neckbet. I'm fine, I said. I was talking to the vulture in my head. Carter walked a circle around me, frowning like I was an abstract sculpture. Percy, try to strike a balance. Don't let her take over, but don't fight her either. It's kind of like running a three-legged race. You have to get in rhythm with your partner. But if you have to choose, Sadie said, smack her down and stay in control. I snarled. Stupid girl! Don't tell me... I forced my lips closed. The taste of rotting jackal in my mouth. Sorry, Sadie, I managed. That was Neckbet talking, not me. I know. Sadie's expression tightened. I wish we had more time for you to get used to hosting a goddess. However... Another red flash illuminated the treetops. The sooner I get this goddess out of my head, the better, I said. Let's go smash Setna's face. Setna really could not decide on his wardrobe. He strutted around the soccer field in black bell-bottomed slacks, a frilly white shirt, and a glittery purple trench coat, all of which clashed with his new combined red and white crown. He looked like Prince from one of my mom's old album covers, and judging from the magic lights swirling around him, Setna was getting ready to party like it was 1999 BCE. Having only one hand didn't seem to bother him. He waved his stump conductor style, chanting in Greek and Egyptian while fog rose at his feet. Bursts of light danced and bobbed around him, as if 1,000 kids were writing their names with sparklers. I didn't understand what I was looking at, but Nekbet did. Having her sight, I recognized the Duat, the magical dimension that existed beneath the mortal realm. I saw layers of reality, like strata of glowing multicolored jelly, plunging down into infinity. On the surface, where the mortal and immortal worlds met, Setna was whipping the Duat into a storm, churning waves of color and frothy white plumes of smoke. After Annabeth's adventure on Rockaway Beach, she told me how frightening it was to see the Duat. She wondered whether the Egyptian Duat was somehow related to the Greek concept of the mist, the magical veil that kept mortals from recognizing gods and monsters. With Nekbet in my mind, I knew the answer. Of course the mist was related. The mist was simply a Greek name for the uppermost layer between the worlds, the layer that Setna was now shredding. I should have been terrified. Seeing the world in all its infinite levels was enough to give anybody vertigo. But I've been dropped into oceans before. I was used to floating in the depths with endless thermal layers around me. Also, Nekbet wasn't easily impressed. She'd just seen about everything over the millennia. Her mind was as cold and dry as the desert night wind. To her, the mortal world was a constantly changing wasteland, dotted with the carcass of men and their civilizations. Nothing laced. It was all roadkill, waiting to happen. As for the Duat, it was always churning, sending up plums of magic like sun flares into the mortal world. Still, we were both disturbed by the way Setna's spell tore through the mist. He wasn't just manipulating it, magicians did that all the time. Setna was strip-minding the Duat. Wherever he stepped, fractures radiated outward, cleaving through the layers of the magic realm. His body sucked in energy from every direction, destroying the boundaries between the Duat and the mortal world, between Greek magic and Egyptian magic, slowly transforming him into an immortal. In the process, he was ripping a hole in the cosmic order that might never close. His magic pulled at us, Nekbet and me, urging us to give up and be absorbed into his new glorious form. I didn't want to be absorbed, neither did the vulture goddess. Our common purpose helped us work together. I marched across the field. Sadie and Annabeth fanned out on my right. I assumed Carter was somewhere on my left, but he'd gone invisible again, so I couldn't be sure. The fact that I couldn't detect him, even with Nekbet's super vulture senses, gave me hope that Setna wouldn't see him either. Maybe if I kept Setna busy, Carter would be able to cut off Setna's other hand, or his legs. Bonus points for his head. Setna stopped chanting when he saw me. "Awesome!" he grinned. "You brought the vulture goddess with you. Thanks." Not the reaction I've been hoping for. I keep waiting for the day when the bad guy sees me and screams, "Give up!" But it hasn't happened yet. "Setna, drop the crown." I raised my compass, which didn't feel heavy with Nekbet's power floating through me. "Surrender, and you might get out of this alive. Otherwise, oh, very good, very threatening, and your friends here, let me guess. You keep me occupied while they set some amazing trap to contain the newly made god. You're not a god yet." He waved off the comment. "I suppose Carter is lurking around here too. All stealthy and invisible. Hi, Carter."